All right, I think we are now live. I'm hoping. Just making sure is the wait in the middle that always gets me. All right, you are live now. I want to say to everyone, welcome to this live show. Thank you for tuning in. Today, as it was mentioned before, we have a special guest, which is Raphael Mounier. Thank you, Raphael, for being here with us. He is the new owner of Oniri Creations. And he is here. He was kind enough to reach out to me and offer an interview because he wants to reach out to the community, to the non-French speaking community, which there's a big number of people out there in the world that don't speak French, of course. He wants to reach out, so that is the reason he wants to kind of give an idea what's going on with the company, what are they doing now, what is the future of the company, what are the plans to get there, and also to answer some questions. So we're going to cover that today. We're going to try to cover as much as we can through this platform that we're using today. This is the first time that I use an Evenmox, so I'm not sure. I think the most we can do is up to 2 hours. Hopefully, we can cover as much as we can within the time that is allowed. But definitely, we want to cover as much. Please do not forget to leave a like, to leave your comments, your questions. Also, be mindful and respectful of Raphael. He is kind enough to give us the time to really share the vision, but also to respond to those questions that you may have today. But everyone is welcome, and we have definitely some people already there. Raphael, welcome to the live show. Thank you for
Yeah,
this interview.
good night or good morning for those people in the US.
Thank you. Now, before we get into the questions and all of that, I want to, I want to you introduce yourself to the audience, to let them know who you are, why you're here, how you got involved with this. Well, most importantly, who is Raphael Mounier? Are you a collector? Give us an idea about your life, what you do for a living, things like that, and maybe a brief
Yeah,
biography.
yeah, sure. Just to let you know, I'm French, but I don't come from Paris region. I come up from a small French island in the middle of nowhere. It's called Réunion Island. It's nearby Madagascar and Mauritius. It's a French
Okay.
territory. I came to Paris when I was 20, just for 3 weeks of vacation, and obviously 27 years after, I'm still here. Um, So I'm mostly a guy. I'm doing IT. I'm doing networking. So I built my company to do what we call in the industry DDoS mitigation. I was protecting websites not to be down during attacks. And basically, I sold this company about a few years ago, 4 years back. And then I started a new company about 1 year ago to build a software about infrastructure management. And at the same time, I really enjoy and I collect a lot of statues. You can see on my back. I'm
Yes.
a geek guy. I'm not this kind of guy who wear tie and a suit. I always wear t-shirt like this all day long.
Uh-huh.
And I started to invest some part of my money when I started my company into projects which I like. And for some reason, I got in touch with the people of Oniri when they go bankrupt because I was directly affected. So I bought for about 4.5K of statues
Okay.
with Oniri. So I lost my money basically. And then I said, okay, let's see how it goes and let's see what is a project to save the company and to understand what is the issue and why did they fail. And then I work with my partner, which the one I built my company before, Acorus, and we
Okay.
look at the numbers, we look at everything, and we look how we can save the project and how we can save all the people who bought the statues and what is the economics around that. And we came back with some numbers that in almost 3 years from now we can get this company profitable again. And why 3 years? Because all the money that the company lost by not delivering, getting the money and not delivering statues to the people,
Mm-hmm.
it's about 3 years to go back on a profitable company. So the goal and what we sold to, so when you are when you go to buy a company, that is basically, if you look at the US, about Chapter 11, but I think it's worse because it's Chapter 11. You refuse your debt, you could continue to do it. But
Okay.
this company here it's done. It's over. You just buy the asset and you don't buy the debt. So basically,
Mm,
what we sold to the judge is we want to buy the asset of the company, but we want to save all the customers. And
mm-hmm.
we three people wanted to buy the company, the asset. Only two went to the court to present, and we won because the project we presented was based on the fact that we are collectors. We want to collect. We like it, and we want to save the community. And we provided the numbers to the judge and how we are going to do it. And this is basically why we were able to buy the asset. And yeah, so basically, just to respond, I'm a geek guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like to have stuff like this. I have more on this side here. Yeah, I'm not a Thai guy basically.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, because I know, like for example, here in the U.S. as an example, we have. I imagine that France has the same. We in bankruptcies, there's different type of bankruptcies, and
Yeah.
when you file what we call Chapter 7 here, technically it's a liquidation. What happened to Oniri when everything is closed, the company ceases to exist. And there's others type of chapters or other type of bankruptcies where you technically are modifying or restructuring the company into something new, and of course you are kind of like cleaning the debt and a lot, and there's in some ways where in the restructuring the company's able still to survive. Now you mentioned in your statement that there's a new entity now being formed, correct?
Correct.
It's Oniri is now going to change
Oniri,
name.
yeah, Oniri is dead. Basically,
Okay.
Oniri as of today doesn't
Mhm.
exist anymore.
Okay.
So what we bought is the asset of the company,
Hmm.
uh, the, the the name, and we need to Suroka. So my company is just a finance company.
Okay.
We are going to set up a new company. There is some legal process. We had to wait 10 days and new 10 days. So the new company will be incorporated about 5 or 6 days from now. This company will acquire from my other company the asset, and then we
Mhm.
will be able to sign the license and to import everything.
Okay.
So this is basically some technical status, but in 5 to 10 days from now, the new name of the company will be revealed, and Oniri will be a brand, and it will not be a company anymore. And this brand will continue all the status that was done by the company Oniri before.
Okay. So, are you going to, in this case, continue with the name of Oniri Creations, or are you going to have a totally different name
For
moving forward?
the brand will remain, but
Okay.
the company itself will be a new name. We cannot use Oniri anymore.
Oh, I see.
The
Okay.
brand, so we will communicate. The website will still be used, but the
Hmm.
company name will be a new name.
Okay. Do we know exactly? Do you know when this name is going to be formed? This new company, the branding is going to change completely, correct?
Correct. So the 5 to 10 days from now. So there is
Okay.
some lawyers on it because we need to the trademark and everything because we want to be. So you know that when so
Mm-hmm.
the company were in their big trouble for the past 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and we bought the asset. So a lot of people, there is a lot of haters out there that don't like us, even if they don't know me. I got people already trying to attack me at some point. That's weird. But anyway, so we want to do everything right. So the lawyers will do everything, the trademark and everything, so nobody can attack us or do something wrong to us. So this is basically
Okay.
why we take time to make things right.
Now that you have taken all these assets, so that means that you already have possession, let's say, of everything, all the in this case the properties that the Oniri used to have. So do you have in your possession, let's say, all the molds, all the prototypes, all the digital renderings? You have everything in your possession now.
So we have a part of it. So what we do have is other project that was launched,
Okay.
but all the project that was announced but not launched and no pre-order, this
Okay.
one we don't have them because it was not part of the asset of the company, but everything that was
Mm,
before, we have them. So basically, I will share in a moment
okay.
the timeline of what we expect to do
Okay.
as let's say to build a product. And yeah, so basically, yes, we have everything. Nothing is lost. It's
Okay.
just a matter of are we going to pay the factory, and that's it.
Now, you mentioned also in your statement that you're in talks with these licensors, with all these companies. How is the how you know? You mentioned that the response is good, but how good
Yeah.
is that response from these licensors?
Very, very good. So we talked to them already, and they are really happy to see that someone is going to set a project, and people will have the statues. So for now, I think we have a green light for everyone, from everyone, but
Okay.
we just need to sign the paper because the new company doesn't exist. So today, I cannot affirm that I have the license because the company doesn't exist, but I have a verbal yes from a lot of them, and then we need to wait for us to sign the white paper to be sure that we can order the good.
Okay. All right. So, technically, you're building or creating a new license with this all these licensors, correct? But because
Correct.
of the situation, they're familiar with it, and you reach out to them. It's they're positive about it. They're saying that yeah, we're going to support you in this endeavor. But there's
Correct.
a contract, and do you have an idea how long would that take for those contracts to be signed after after the new company is formed?
So it really depends on how much time the lawyers they want to bill you, basically.
Oh,
So
yes.
because they bill on hours, so no, no. That said, I think we can estimate about 10 days after the creation of the company. So
Okay.
basically, I think from now to end of May, I should be able to sign the license. That's the one that we need to deliver this year. So we have a timeline of about 18 months. Doesn't mean that we need to sign all the license today. We need to sign the license of the one that is going to be delivered or already produced in China and
Okay.
just waiting to be shipped to France or Europe or US, depending. So we have some, but I will show it after. We have some statues
Okay.
already produced and waiting on, let's say, almost as a docks to be shipped in France.
Okay, good. Well, that's good. So, in other words, you're saying that you're going to prioritize the ones that you already have product that needs to be released, or they're already probably in the process and production in China, where it's technically halfway through whatever. But so those are the priorities more than just the renderings or whatever was promised initially, but you have nothing in your hand.
So today I can show.
Okay.
Let me see how I can share and share my screen. So yeah, so we do have some. Oh, letters. I'm not sure if I can share. Okay, I can share. Perfect. I'm not sure I can share, and you need to request some rights because it's a new application. Anyway, I can share after. So what we have is uh, we have
And while you're
Berserk.
Berserk, okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Berserk.
Let me interrupt you just for a second. Just for reference for everyone. I know that there's questions already, but we're gonna wait for a moment while we asking the main questions, and he's going to present the stuff that he has, and then of course we're gonna go sometime. We're gonna spend some time going through some of these questions and try to answer them. But yeah, go ahead, Raphael.
Yeah. So yeah, so we have some statues. So Berserk is ready to ship at some point, so we just need to get the license. The one that need to be finished at some point, it's from Berserk is Zod. Zod will be finished in 1 month from now, and
Okay.
then the first one that we are going to finish the production that is started but not finished will be City Hunter because people are waiting for this one for about 4 years now, and it will
Wow.
be the first one, and One Piece as well. So this will be the two first one that we are going to finish production. We are going to pay the factory, and then we start to finish the paint. and put them in the box, and then going to be shipped to Europe or US or Asia.
Okay. So and let me ask you this: Are you in all this process, of course, that has been done? Are you still are the previous owners still involved in this company, or just they completely out now? This is a
No, no,
completely
no, no. So today, I just want to be clear because we had a lot of fantasy about what they did about the money and everything.
Mhm.
So just to go back in time and why we came to this situation and why the company failed is they started to build before COVID all these statues and everything, and they decided to put everything as bulk, like shipping and everything. That it's when you pay the price, it's delivered to your door, basically in Europe and part of the US. And when COVID hit, the price for a boat went from, let's say, 4K to 18K.
Okay.
So then a shipping the price was just multiplied by 6 or 8 for at some point. And what they did is they didn't want to go back to the people and say, wait more or pay more. So they took the cost on their side and they decided to continue to ship. So basically the first statues that they shipped out for customers, they were already losing money. So that was the first issue they had. The second one is first they started to work with some reseller. They didn't go direct for all the stores in France. And
Mhm.
one of the resellers, there is still a big issue with that. There is still something on the court that's going to be done next year. The company got bankrupt and he collected all the money from the stores, didn't pay Oniri, but Oniri still delivered the statue to the stores. So they lost
Okay.
another 400K, something like that. So the company lost about, I don't know the number by head, but about 300 to 450K in the
Okay.
first 2 years of the company. So this is when everything started to be a problem.
Mhm.
And when they decided to continue the company and to launch a project to collect money, to just try to build the other project and go and so on, is because they were approached by people like me, wanted to invest in the company. They
Mhm.
had about, I had a history of emails, and they had about 4 or 5 people connected to them and say, okay, we are going to put 500K, 600K to the company tomorrow. And then we
Mhm.
buy and then we continue. So then they started to contact this factory and say, oh, we are going to pay you in 3 weeks because we have this guy coming to us and going to inject money into the company and so on and so on. But nobody put the money in the company. So
Mm.
they really trusted the fact that they would get money out of investors to continue the project. Yeah, it was an issue because they didn't get the money and then they go bankrupt. So that said, they didn't steal money for the company. They didn't live in Dubai like people said in Facebook. They didn't buy a big house. Didn't buy a Ferrari. So no, they are they the big issue they have today is they have personal debt because they contracted personal debt for the company,
Okay.
and now they are compared to the company, they have a debt of a few hundred K on their own
Mm.
name. So they are. I understand people are not happy because they think they stole them, but they are in a very bad situation personally. So they are still are trying to recover from this. And
Correct.
to answer your question, yes, there will be parts of the future of the company. They will be helping us to close other projects because this is what they are willing to do. They are willing helping us to make this project to be successful.
Mhm.
And yeah, they will be around. But the lawyers, because they have a trial next year due to the bankrupt of the company.
Correct.
So they are not allowed to speak in public. So
Hmm.
if they have to speak, they have to speak through me, and or they have to speak through lawyers. They are not allowed to speak publicly.
Okay. So in that case, if they're not, are they going to be involved in the financial aspects of the company once everything is settled?
No, today we have a team. So we have a team of we already have two people that are going to join us. One to manage the license and
Okay.
the agreement. One other for the finance. So she's working with us with two other companies. So
Hmm.
she's an expert. So she's helping us on two other companies. We have one MD. She's going to join us as well to manage the company.
Okay.
And we have another one to manage all the social media and everything.
Okay.
There is two or three people from the previous Oniri company that we are in touch with that
Hmm.
may join us during summertime or fall, basically. Today, as most of the project already started, it's just a matter of finance. We have to pay and they have to deliver. So we don't have
Okay.
creative stuff to do. It's just about fulfillment and money, basically.
Hmm. So is that the concentration right now? I'm guessing the concentration is going to be to fulfill everything that was ordered before the getting
Correct.
into trying to bring more stuff. I was reading the transcript you sent me of that interview that you offered to Virtual Devil, and I was reading it. It was so good. Of course, you're giving a lot of information that you're giving here now too, but of course in French. But one thing that you mentioned there that was to me. It was interesting. Trying going back to that, I'm trying to see if I can read it here. You were saying in that, of course, I'm trying to go back if I can read it. But yeah, you shared a lot of things that happened. Of course, one of the reasons why everything went bad to worse was during that period of COVID. You know, there was a lot of things that prevented the company. It's like it was the perfect storm for the company. Everything that you expect to go wrong in a bad situation, everything happened at once, and
Yeah.
the company couldn't recover as a whole from it. And and I noticed that in the article you said that you're trying to concentrate on that. One of the biggest problems the company had initially is that they acquired too many licenses at once, and those trying to get as many customers I guess as possible. But is that going to be also are you going to correct that now moving forward? Are you going to concentrate on a few licenses rather than having too many licenses at once?
No, today we have all the project that it was launched before. The goal is to deliver everything. So
Okay.
we are going to continue if we get the license, of course. So there is
Hmm.
still a if. The goal is to try to get all of them and to deliver other project. Are we going to do new project with a new license? Basically, I don't know. What we are going to do anyway is we are going to launch before we deliver all the old statues. We will have to do new project in order to get money, to collect money, to finance all the rest, because there is a big debt. If we want to deliver everyone and don't ask for money to anyone, we have to launch new project in parallel to get money from this project to finance everything. So this will be kind of a roll up that we're going to do for the next 18 months.
Now, could you go in detail about some of the things that you were saying also on the way that you're going to manage a lot of the pre-orders? Because I think the biggest concern for a lot of collectors right now is that a lot of people, of course, pre-order stuff, put money down, but they've been waiting forever. And you mentioned too that you're going to concentrate on that. But can you go in detail on those points that you mentioned on that statement about how you're going to get this? The how you're gonna just like looking at the action plan for delivers. That's what you mentioned there in different cases. Could you go in detail on those?
Yes, I'm trying to share my screen, but let me see. I'm doing it again. I'm not about to share.
Okay.
Okay, I have to. I'm coming back just a sec.
No, no worries. And just while he's a little, gone and getting stuff ready, I see that there's a lot of questions. We're gonna try to cover as many as possible. I know that there's the interest for a lot of you that ordered things, and I'm totally with you on that. You want to have an answer to when or how this is going to be unfold. I will also mention that this is going to be, I'm going to put timestamps for the future. For those who are unable to be here now or want to come back, you cannot be here throughout the video, maybe because you have things to do. You can always go back and we can always go on this little timestamps just to give you a guide where we talk about certain things.
So can you? I'm not sure if you can share my screen, or do you see? What do you guys see? Do you see what I share?
I
Or
see
do you
it. Yeah, I see it. Let's just share it here. I can see yours. Let me see. Okay, I don't see your. Okay, let me add the scene you too, and we're going to do this part here. Maybe this can help. Oh no. Let's try to get this done right. Um, it's a bit different here. Just bear with me while we're trying to set it up properly. Okay, let me try to get this one out. All right, maybe you can share it better there.
I'm not sure what people are seeing. Oh, perfect. Okay, so let me go through this. So this is a non-contractual one. This is a provision that we are going to do about production and not shipping. So what we do have this year, we do plan as soon as the company is incorporated and the company have a license, we these statues are already produced and they are just waiting for the license and the boat so it can be shipped to France or APAC or the US. If we go back at the production that are started and never ended because they didn't get paid. So just let me explain. When you work with 3 factories, you launch a project with 1 factory, and all of them, they know each other. It's like a family. They know who is working with who, etc. And when someone is not paying, they contact their friend, say, "Oh, I'm not paid by this guy. You should stop the production." And this is what happened with most of the projects that started with Oniri. That's the case with City Hunter. So we, as soon as we get the license, we contact back the factory, and as soon as they get the money, they start back the production. It will be started by next month. I mentioned that Zod is already finished. We just need to finish the paint and put them in the box and everything. And these 2 projects will be launched as well. So that's basically what we plan to produce. I didn't say ship. I'd say produce and finish. And why I did not say ship is there is a period of time. If you lose this slot of shipping from China to anywhere in the world, if you miss this slot like before Chinese New Year, about 3 weeks before and 3 weeks after, the price of shipping just double or triple. So you need to be very careful. If you miss this slot, either you wait or you pay 3 times more. So that's basically what we want to do. So we are going to do everything that we can to start the project and to make them ship before, but this is something I cannot guarantee today. And if you look at next year, the goal is to launch the other project, waiting for the license. So Hunter Hunter, Evangelion, and all the stuff that's going to be launched. So this is something that we are going to put on the website, and we are going to update on do we get the license? Are we in line with the timeline and everything? So that's a rough plan that we did, and that expectation that we have today. Yes. So in in terms of money and the flow of money, yes. In terms of do we get the license, that's a different story. That I cannot say yes today. Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we're on different opposite ways, but definitely that is a very it's a it's a plan. I can
Yeah.
say that it's a plan. Um, but how you feel about the whole thing? I know this has been. I know a lot of people are stressed out. A lot of people are angry. How are you going to approach this? And I want to say one thing. I'm thankful that you are reaching out and you're talking to the community. A lot of companies in situations like this, they don't even say a word. I've seen so many companies over the years filing bankruptcy, and you never heard anyone. First and foremost, nobody saves the company, so they just completely tanked up. But you're definitely kind of jumping on this and trying to get things working. Are you going to still employ some of the same artists that were working with you? I think there were a couple of things there where some artists they didn't feel comfortable with the company. Are you still going to employ some of them, or how this is going to be approached with the
So
artists and the company?
yeah, that's a good question. So today we you guess I receive about a lot of email, a lot of question, a lot of contacts. So we do have contact with some former employees. We did receive a lot of CV from artists, and then we are looking at it. So today it's nothing is planned on this part because if we launch a new project, it will be next year. We do not plan to do anything because I think it will be in terms of strategy, it will not be good to launch a new project and do not delivering other project. So we want to do it. Is it a good time to do it? No. Do we want to do it in terms of finance? Yes. But I
Okay.
think you will not see a new project starting before 2025. That's it. So in terms of former employee, the artist, I
Mm-hmm.
cannot say today. We haven't take any decision. It's too early right now. What I can say is, if we want to do new project, it will be not the same way that today people order. We will not do pre-order. People will not be able to order them before. We will announce a project. There will be a range of price, but for the first one, we will not sell direct. We will sell through professional only, and we will only sell when the production will be finished, and some production will be already in Europe and
Okay.
ready to be taken um, from the stores. So today the trust is gone. If it was me, I would never buy again from Oniri
Okay.
because I get my money already. And then a new guy just came out. Nobody knows this guy, and this guy said, "Okay, just pay new money for a new project, and don't worry, I will deliver this product." And I haven't done nothing yet, so it's not going to work. So the only way we can do it is we have to inject from banks. So the good thing is when you build a company, you sell a company, you don't use the money to build a new company. You go to the banks and they give you money. So basically, the bank trusts that we presented the project and say, okay, here's the money, do the project, and do it. So this is what we did: is we inject money from the bank to be able to fulfill at least 4 to 5 statues without
Hmm.
getting money from anyone. And then we will collect money when it will be delivered to the stores.
So a lot of people that they pre-order because can you were saying about the pre-orders. Can you explain a little more, or give us a little more detail on that pre-order plan? Because I know that there is a few where you were mentioning the different cases. The first one for clients who have fully paid their orders but not received them, we will endeavor to fulfill your orders and no additional costs. We will contact you individually by email. So you have all the records of everyone that has ordered directly from you,
Correct.
correct? All right.
Correct.
For clients reimbursed by Oniri or their bank, we reserve the items for you, and we will have the opportunity to reorder them as soon as they are available. Would that be through your website, or it's going to be also through the retailers? How that's going to work?
So we may use a retailer for that at the same
Okay.
price, but we may not do it direct.
Okay.
It's unclear right now, but that's yeah. Today we don't. There's a question about, do we open the website for order? It's something that is not decided yet. For what I see from now, we prefer to lose a part of margin and give it to
Hmm.
reseller, and they do the job for us because we don't have the staff to do it.
Is this new production of some of these products is going to affect the edition sizes? Are you going to have to
Yeah,
produce more in order
yeah,
to be more sustainable, make more profit
correct.
at
So
least?
there is a few statues that got had a huge success. About the waiting list was at least twice the amount of statues that was promised, basically. So we need to find the right number and how much we are going to do for City Hunter, how much for Luffy. But people who were not able to get them first place will be able to get them through a partner. And we don't know the number, but basically it will be. So I gave some numbers last time, and I may be, and I go back to the numbers, and I may be wrong. I gave maybe a low number. I gave about 15 to 20. It will
Hmm.
be more likely like 50+% because I was missing some data that I get after the live with Virtual Devil last week, and the number are huge. The waiting list was really, because the waiting list was only on the website, but
Hmm.
I didn't get the wait list from the stores, basically, and the stores was
Okay.
twice the size that I had. So then I collect everything, and this will be a good opportunity for us to get some money back and maybe to speed up some project. So the good thing is, so there's good and bad, basically. The good thing is, if we are able to fulfill all the people and provide the status people on the waiting list, we will collect money, new fresh money, and then I will be able to inject this money in other project that was planned end of next year, maybe to put them early next year. So if we got the success that we expect, then it will reduce the timeline for other projects.
Now, in reference to the quality, I want to ask you this because I was reading the transcript of the previous interview, but also going through your notes. I think one of the issues that they were having originally, the original guys with Oniri, was that there was a lot of time also wasted on quality control or trying to get things done. Are you going to? How are you going to approach this? Because of course, as collectors, we are always concerned about quality. We just don't
Yeah.
want something that comes to us is all broken or it's not even as it was presented originally through the prototype. How are you going to deal with this when you are technically shipping directly from the factory to the distributors? Are you
So
going to have someone there checking, doing quality
So
control?
yeah, so there is since the company started, I think the industry started to evolve to a
Okay.
better optimization of cost, and there is people
Okay.
in China who are specialized to check for you the status and
Okay.
give you a right feedback. And these people usually speak English, but not so good. So what we did is we did hire someone who speaks Chinese, English, and French,
Okay.
and this person is an employee of the new company, and we'll be able to check and to travel to China if needed. Basically, for the first one, we will go there because we have 4 statues, like about almost 3,000 statues that are going to be shipped. So we will send someone to go, and we pay someone locally. A contractor is going to check for us, and then we'll be able to communicate easily and fluently with someone speaking Chinese.
Okay. With that, now that you're trying to be as profitable as possible, but also have maybe a higher edition sizes and it reduce some of the overhead and all the extra costs, would that mean that the prices will be higher or less, or how you see with for the products moving forward?
So that's a complicated question, and I will try to answer the best I can. Some statues will have the cost that's going to get up, the bigger one, because of the
Okay.
cost of shipping.
Mm-hmm.
The same size statues that will not increase the cost of shipping, we may be able to keep the same price. The only issue we have is the shipping cost that is above the price they had, about 25 to 30% more. So this cost, we have to put them somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can use the same boat and everything, then we can absorb the difference. But big statues, impossible.
Okay. Yeah, because I think what you were doing initially, of course, not you, but the Oniri, the previous guys, they were shipping directly to France, and from France they have to deliver or to ship to other parts of the world to other distributors. You're avoiding that now by just technically, if you do an international for international distributors, it's going to be managed directly from the factory, so that it's in some way cutting some of that cost. Correct?
So for Europe, no. For Europe, we have
Okay.
to take the cost and do it by ourselves, and we take the cost. For people who are not in Europe, some of them will take them directly from the factory in China, and then they will have the cost. But the price they pay is lower, basically, because they don't have the big shipping cost. So it really depends where people want to buy. So when I said that we will not bill anyone, of course, we will not bill anyone on the shipping cost when it was already included in the cost. For people who pay the statues, but the cost of shipping was not included, of course, they will have to pay shipping. We are not going to offer the shipping.
Okay.
So, for example, people in the UK, the cost was not included, basically, as far as I know. People in the US, except if they go through a reseller, they will have the cost. So we may find a solution to optimize and to ship directly to someone in the US. It's unclear right now, but today, as of today, we do plan to continue to do free shipping for people in Europe who were part of the free shipping, and the other one they still have to pay the shipping on their own.
Okay. Good. So, are you going to honor those prices? Correct, the prices that you gave this initially to the people who ordered
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
initially.
Yeah, these people they will have to because they cancelled the order because of Oniri, not because of they did not want to do it. So these people, of course, we will have to maintain the price. But the people who didn't order before, if the price is going to increase, that yes, they will have to pay more.
Okay. All right. So let's answer some questions here. Of course, I know some people are eager to get those, and let's go and let me show you here. There is Bull Base says, "Hello, I have fully purchased the Eva 00 statue. Will I receive this? Is there any ETA? Thanks."
So yes, and ETA is production Q1 next year and shipping obviously Q2, Q3. So basically, you still 1 year from now to receive the statue.
Okay. Now we also have now Sexy Lamb. That's a nice name. It says, "Will the Terminator Police Shootout T800 still be produced?" Which wasn't the chart that we just saw.
Yeah,
Th-
it's a late one. It's a last one because it was the last one that was produced. So basically, obviously, I hope because I personally order one, so I want to get mine. So I will do everything I can to get my statue. So if I can get my statue, you will get your status. But it's just a matter of will we get the license. But if we get the license, yeah, for sure, it will be produced.
All right. Now we have Nice Guy. Um, it says, "So is there any actual stock to ship to customers who have order, or is everything still in production?" Uh,
So Berserk is fully produced. Um uh, some of them, like City Hunter, like One Piece, are production started but not finished, and then this will be the first one. All the rest are kind of very early stage of production. Like a few pieces of the statue was produced, but not the full set.
All right. And we also have here Patricia Goncalves. She's asking about Gon and Hisoka. Are there any statues? The last Oniri update said so, but I don't remember seeing production photos. Could we still expect this statue?
So Hunter x Hunter, for me, it's Q1 next year.
Q1.
Gon
Okay.
Ishoka, yeah. I think it was on my chart.
All right. So that answers that question. Well, this one I think you already kind of mentioned it, but I'm just gonna still post it just for reference. Is there some license you may have some difficulties to get, long delay or impossibility to get them till someone else lose the license?
So all the licenses are gone. We have to go and get all of them one by one. Nothing. When you buy a company at this stage, then you lost everything. You have to go back and ask for everything. So that's basically where we are. Some licenses are easy to get, and some are very difficult. Some people ask more money. Some people ask less money. So they didn't ask for money that you pay for the license. They asked for money you pay in advance because when you have a statue, you pay a percentage on each statue you pay to the right owner. Some of them
Mm-hmm.
say you pay us when you sell the statue. Some of them say, oh, we expect you to sell half of your stock. Then we want the revenue from half of it day one. So depending of the cash of the company, then we will decide to put this license before this license or whatever, depending of the cash flow we have. So that said is the big name are the one who have the power and are the one who are going to ask for money first. The smaller one are more willing to go with you and help you in terms of finance, but they are all the same. They are all willing to do it, but the size of the company make it different in terms of what money you need to pay first and what money you pay after.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, some license will get delayed and some license will be easy. And then after some statues, we get revenue out of it. Some statue, we don't get revenue. So we will have to balance between cost of license, cost of this. So there's a three-dimension Excel spreadsheet basically that
Yeah.
the finance people are working on, and we try to optimize with the banks as well on when we need money and when we don't need money and how we do it. Because
Okay.
when you get money from the bank, you pay interest fees. So you
Mm-hmm.
try to minimize the money you get out of the bank in order to pay less. So this is basically a financial equation to do it.
Correct. All right. So the next question here from Joao Philippe says Grandizer, Duke Fleet. Um,
I want this because I ordered both of them. So the answer is very easy. I want them, so I will do everything I can to get them. That's my priority number one for me as a lover of Gonizer.
all right. Nice guy also mentioned this. I think this is sort of a question too. It's a comment, but it's a question in some way. Ishigo and Bakuga. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Are hidden 2 years plus now, too, with waiting. Any idea about this too?
For me, it's in the list. I'm not sure when. I can go back on this one.
Okay.
So, but I don't think I have the answer right now on this one.
All right. Now we have another one here. Um, and just bear with us. We're doing everything live, which makes it more complicated. But yeah, keep on follow Oniri's different channels, social media, so you can get more of those answers. But here, how high are the chances that a full paid of statue get still produced and shipped? I ordered Mikasa Ackerman directly from Oniri Creations, and it is fully paid. I also ordered Roy Mustang 5 years, I suppose 5 years ago.
Okay, Roy Mustang. Where is Roy Mustang? I don't see. Oh, Roy Mustang is Q4 this year as a production. So hopefully Q1, Q2 later, depending of the cost of shipping, will be
Okay.
delivered. And Mikasa, this one is the last one, is in Q3 next year. But yes, fully paid, you should be delivered.
Yeah, and he answered he asked the same question again, which he answered. So technically, Roy Mustang. It's sometime this year, by the end of this year, perhaps, if not the beginning of next. But that one is closer.
Yeah,
Mikasa.
it's the same.
All right, so let's see what else we got. Um, Okay, so here we can answer this one. This is Saigo. Of course, he came a little late into that. It says, "Hi, sorry if this had been asked. The chat only go back so far. When will I see new products? I know a lot of people probably find it laughable question, but Near needs revenue to right the wrongs." You already kind of answered some of those questions
Yeah,
here. What's the
Q1. I
plan?
think so. That part of the question from someone else, and you ask basically the artist. So we need to get the artist. We need to get new projects. We need to get the license. But if we get the license for one project, I can tell that new projects smaller. So the idea we have is I can say today we want to do smaller statues. I will not say cheaper. I would say cost effective. Uh, that
Cost
people
effective. Yeah.
can that people can buy and uh, and yes. So the goal is to start new project by end of this year. But when you start a new project, the validation is about 3 to 6 months. So if you start a project in fall this year, the validation will be January, and then the production will start February next year, and then shipping. So basically 1 year from now, yes, new project. But if we want to do it, we will do a diorama. So I don't know not sure English is working, like a set of statues
Hmm.
that you can put together to do a scene. So that's basically what we have in mind today.
Like a diorama, like with
Yeah,
multiple pieces coming together.
correct.
Um, yeah, and yeah, that's the way to do it. And definitely, I would think one thing I would say about Oniri that really caught a lot of people's attention when, as soon as the company came out, is that they did have fantastic art or fantastic concepts that very unique, very stylized in some way, but also very respectful of the source material. Is that going to be continue being the goal? Correct? And in this new
Yeah,
company is continue the same approach to it,
yeah. That's the
trying to
goal.
stay true to the source material.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what we plan. Yes, we do not plan to change the essence and the goal of the company. That's why basically we still have the two brothers founders with us to help us to take the right decision. And but obviously we will take the finance decision. I know people are very worried about this one, and you ask but yes, we are going to we have the finance people, and then we will have the people who led the projects and the ideas. That was a good project that didn't succeed at some point, but the project is still good. Yes, we want to continue the same.
Now, are there any plans this year, for example? I'm not sure because everything is happening really fast in some way, but also time flies. Are there any plans for you to attend the company to attend different venues this year, or different events around the world, or even just in France for collectors to visit and see the products?
Yeah, that's part of the plan. So, but when you go to events, it's a lot of money involved. Like when you go, it's
Correct.
about 10 to 30K just to get a booth to be able to throw it. So we are already talking to people who have already a place,
Okay.
resellers, and they are willing to get the product. And yes, but as I said, I will not be the face of the company because I run two other companies, and I just
Okay.
started a new company 1 year ago, and I raised fund, and I need to grow this company. So I'm here because I want to people to show that to see that I have a face, and I'm not just an investor, and I like what I do. But yes, we are going to have two or three people to go to be the face of the company and go out there.
So it's going to be, I think, part of the plan, as you mentioned, to really kind of increase the reach through social media, to be able to contact and be in contact with the customers in a more closer way. Correct? Is that the plan, to be closer to the customers,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
answering their
Yeah.
questions through social media?
Correct. So there is someone dedicated to that that we are talking to. Is going to be hired as soon as the company started. There is also communication. So we want to communicate on status delivery every 15, 20 days on the Facebook, whatsoever, Twitter, where we can communicate. And yeah, so someone asked something in the chat is
Yeah,
why we
very
start a new company is because we have no
correct.
choice. We have no choice. This is by law. We have to start a new company. We cannot
Yes,
we cannot reuse Oniri. It's dead.
or you say, sorry, this is nosy, but why not start a new company instead of taking over a company that was sunk? I think what the question is more about why is it that you are taking the steps to actually take the loss from this other company instead of you creating your own a new company without having to deal with all this drama that happened through Oniri. I think that's what the question is about.
So there is there's 2 points. Is first there is the quality of the project. When you are unknown in the industry, you need to take 2 or 3 years to build this. Okay, and of course there is if you look at the economics with all the statues that are done for the next 2 years, some statues were fully paid by the customers that
Correct.
buy directly on the website. The resellers, they only paid 15 to 30% of the statues. It means that there is still 70% to be collected from the resellers. If you do the economics on 3 years, you can make money out of it, but you have to inject first a lot of money, and money you inject have a cost. So you take back a project that is already have a good reputation in terms of quality. Of course, company have a very bad reputation, but the quality is still good. But if you stop to do pre-ordering and you just don't collect money until it's shipped, then you take back. And this is basically the model we want to do in the future. And of course, second part of it is when you have a good traction, like for City Hunter, we had, I think it was a 500 statues. And from the number I have, it's about more than twice that people are waiting for these statues. So if I do fulfill everyone, I start to get money out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good question. Do we want to start from scratch? No, because this is not my job. This is an opportunity, and the opportunity makes me happy to save the project for the community, to save my statues, because I have some statues that are waiting. So I will save my project, and then at some point I will make money out of it in 4 or 5 years from now.
Just to give some clarity to some of the people who are listening now, who are watching the video, what he's saying is very simple, and he said it earlier. Maybe you weren't here, but he's also a collector, and he was a collector of Oniri. And because as a collector, he felt that there was something he didn't want to lose what he already invested money on, at least as a collector, pre-ordering. So I think that's one of the main goals that you got into this is technically safeguard your own collection, the stuff that you already that you wanted
Yeah.
so much to have. But just to give an idea, clarity also how business work, there's differences of way. Like he's saying, you can start a business from scratch, but that takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money. Definitely, you have to have everything set up from the beginning. And yes, it can work, but at the same time, in so many ways, and that's what happened with a lot of businesses that they go bankrupt or they close and they bought by other companies. It's just a way that you already there's a foundation. And I think Oniri, even though there was a lot of mismanagement in the end, or caused by so many reasons, internal and external, I think, and in the end, the great thing about it was that there's a foundation where there's already a fan base. People, there was already, in this case, prototypes, which just to make a prototype, just to get through that whole process is very costly because thousands of dollars or euros. So definitely there's already the stuff. So technically you're not starting from zero. You already have a foundation where you can build upon and trying to fix the things that were already messed, bad from the start. But I think that's just an idea for those who don't understand why it's that this was taking place here. Now, there's another question from Angel Garcia. It says right here, did I hear properly when he said Berserk is fully produced? So has been fully produced as well? Thanks.
Yes. So Berserk is fully produced, waiting to be shipped, and though there's still some quality check to be done that was not done yet. So we have to send someone to check, and then it will take a few weeks, and then it will be shipped. So yes, Berserk is fully produced, and this will be the first one to be shipped.
Good. Now, Fo says, I think this is a great initiative. Love from that. Thank you so much for doing it, Raphael.
Yeah, thank you.
And then Sigurd said again, another question says, while I have no outstanding statue waiting, I'm very hopeful for Oniri. Fingers crossed the Naruto Shippuden license can be regained.
Yes, so I hope so, because this is a very good license, and there is um, part of the project I want to, the small one I'm saying, is on this one. So basically, yes, we really want
Oh,
this one.
all right. And Angel Garcia says, awesome. Thanks, Raphael. I really appreciate all you're doing. So, yeah, there's definitely, a lot of unanswered questions. We can go on and on through the interview and ask the same questions over and over. And again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I will have the timestamps throughout after this video is finished. So you can still come back if you don't have time to watch the whole thing. You can watch it. You can go through the different parts and choose that particular section in the video, and then you can probably have the answer to your question. Um, so now, now that everything is kind of coming together, how you feel about the whole thing? You think that what place you think you are in at this moment? Like you are 100% sure that this is going to work out, or you still a little bit, afraid that some things might not work as
No, no,
planned?
I'm really confident right now. So we have some very good traction from the stores. So we had a lot of calls from people that are. So some people call us and said, "I know you don't want to collect money, but the way you want to do it, we are willing to do it again with you." And I said, "No, we don't want your money right now. There is no way you trust us before we deliver something. So we really want to show to the people that we are going to deliver. And City Hunter is the first one that we want to show as
Hmm.
one that was waiting. And Berserk for me is a given. We will deliver it before, I hope before summertime, so people can get it. And City Hunter before the end of the year, Roy Mustang as well, and Luffy. So that's the one I really want to do this year. So for now, I would say my gut feeling is yes, I'm confident that we can do it. And yeah, and new project for sure. That Q1 next year we will come to the scene and show what we have in mind.
All right, and there is another comment here from Fo. It says, I only managed to join late, and sorry it's been asked before, but I remember there was a roadmap shown on the French Live. Will that be shared on the site later? Of course, he shared it earlier in the video, which is great. But yeah, I wanted to ask you, are you going to post
Yeah,
it on social media? So that way, because yeah, definitely that's a great chart for reference for anyone. So
yeah. We are going
yeah,
to share it, and we are going to update this one if we if let's say every 15 days, 20 days, every time we need to update it, and we are going to keep the history of it, so people will see are we doing good, are we doing bad, or what are the challenge or not. But yeah, the
okay.
goal is to share everything transparency. And if we are doing wrong at some point, we will not remove and delete everything. We will keep it to say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is what we planned. This is what we have done, basically.
All right, so I think that there's a lot of people, a lot of questions were answered, which I'm glad. Is there anything else that you want to add? Really, now that it seems that we're coming to the end, anything that you want to add to this conversation, to this
Yeah,
interview?
so I want to add something like it's mostly personal at some point. When you want to start a project like Oniri, it's it's a personal thing. You want to build a company, you're entrepreneur, you build something. That part of life to have a success or to fail. The two brothers, they tried something. They were not maybe 100% good at it. They did some mistakes and the company failed. That's part of life. But what was wrong, that people threatened them to death, basically. People came to their house, came to the stores, and was trying to say, oh, we are going to kill you. So the value of life is not the value of a statue. You cannot kill someone for a bunch of euros or dollars. So that for me, I think as a community, someone want to try to start something. I know it's a lot of money. You inject like 4 or 5K, that's a lot of money. But you decided to put this money for a statue. Of course, you're gonna get the money, but you decided to put the money at some point. But I think you have to make a difference between someone fail as entrepreneur who try to do something and someone who want to be killed because he didn't deliver something. So that's something that was really difficult. And I met their parents and they were really worried about this. And they are really relieved that someone's going to do it. So people will forget about this. So that's a personal note I want to do is remember behind the keyboard, there is human being. And when you say that, people can be affected and people can have issues after not to sleep everything. So just be human at some point and think that being between you and the keyboard, there's someone on the other side.
Correct. And I think you make a very, very, very valid point. And I think sometimes we forget as a community because we, like you said, it's so easy to say whatever comes to mind when you're on a keyboard, but we don't know the repercussions of what we say. And sometimes the things that we say, we might not mean uh, harm, but sometimes it comes across as we are attempting or we want to do harm. And of course, we don't know the state of mind of the other person on the other side, how that can affect that person, not only that person, but their families and the people around them. So we have to be very mindful. At the end of the day, like you said, these are material things, are replaceable. Things come and go. Even we buy something. I hear all the time. I've been a collector for over 20 some years. And I'll tell you this, many I have changed my collection so many different times with so many things. What you see is not everything I have a lot of things, but the point is that I fall in love with some things and then I fall out of love. There are things that I grab into my collection, I like them for a time, then I don't like them anymore. So sometimes people put too much emphasis on things that are not as important, when in reality people are in the end the most important or most valuable thing. And I know that everyone starts a project. The people who started this company, I imagine they started with the best intention and at heart. They wanted to build this company. Things didn't work out in the end. That doesn't mean that they did it on purpose or they wanted just to rub people's blind, that they want to steal your money. They have tried, it seems like, as you mentioned, in so many ways to trying to amend and trying to make things right. But in the end, they couldn't do it. They didn't have the experience. Maybe they didn't have the people around them at the time to guide them into the process of building a company, and they fail. But we are grateful. I'm grateful that some of the work that they did, what they started, the foundation they started, you are picking that up. And I'm not sure if only you, other investors with you, are working with in this process, but you are picking what they started and trying to continue with the torch.
Yeah.
And to me, that's great, because how many companies have closed their doors and how many companies they have gone out the door and we don't hear from them anymore. And some of those projects were lost. I remember when companies like I love, like Bowen Designs, went out the door. There were so many projects that were lost. And that was it. There was nothing else that you could do. And at least there is still hope that some of the stuff that has been shown through the last 4 or 5 years with Oniri is gonna come. Whether it's gonna come, whether in a 2-year period or not, at least you're trying to get to that place where you're able to deliver the promise. And I'm grateful as a customer, as a collector. I'm grateful that you're doing and taking this upon yourself to trying to provide that help.
Yeah. But that said, communication will be key for us. We are going to communicate every time we have news. We will go live. Not me, but someone else. We'll update data. So yeah.
Yeah, and finally, I'm gonna say this. I'm just gonna read this part here with Angel Garcia. Just it says, "I totally agree, and seeing Raphael being transparent and communicative, is really good indication how communication is going to be moving forward." So yeah, I totally agree with Angel on this one. I'm grateful not only that you offer that interview in French, but also you offer this interview in English, and I'm grateful that you give me the opportunity to kind of conduct this interview. I want to say to everyone, first, Raphael, thank you very much
Yeah.
for taking the time. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Sorry for my accent if you miss something because I'm French, but I try to do my best. So
No, I think you explained it very, very well. Everything was well explained, and I think, yeah, I think just keep an eye on the company, keep an eye on their Facebook page, on their Instagram, keep an eye on their YouTube channel. And definitely in the next couple of days, we will know more. So I'm sure we're going to get more news. And a lot of the people who are expecting a lot of things, he answered a lot of these questions today, but be mindful, be respectful. Just have a little bit of patience. He's trying to help out on this and trying to get things resolved for everyone. All right, so everyone, take care, my friends. Have a happy weekend. Happy May the 4th.
May the 4th.
And
Yeah, I have a
yeah,
T-shirt for it today.
yes. So everyone, all the Star Wars fans, enjoy the day. So we'll talk to you again. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.